Hello guys and welcome back. Today we are continuing our 100-day JEE Advanced question series once again. So guys, the question that you right now see on the screen is a really special question because this might seem simple, but it isn't. It is a really good question because the procedure that I'm going to use to solve this is something that I hope you haven't very commonly seen. Okay. So guys, if you want, you may try out this question once yourself. I will wait for a few seconds and then I will start explaining what we are going to do. Okay, so guys, let's start off. So basically, if you see, this is f, a function of L comma M comma N, denoting the area that is bound by the points lying in this set. Now, one equation is of an ellipse and the other equation is Lx plus My plus n less than equal to L minus 3m. Basically, it's the equation of a plane. So your set S is actually area of ellipse intersection with a half plane, right? Why half plane? Because only x and y. Like that is the like area that your set S is actually denoting, right? So guys, what now, like I will explain actually what we are going to do. So basically this idea is actually used in higher mathematics. It's like converting one particular conic into another or something much simpler for our convenience. Okay. So this is nothing very out of the syllabus. Actually, you can use this in many standard sums. Okay. I had done a few, like from my experience, there were a few test series, like even the prestigious ones, which had such type of questions. And actually there, if you take the, like here, if this is the equation of the ellipse, you can see on the screen, if you take that and start solving, actually things will get pretty complicated. Okay. But instead of that, if you do what I am doing right now, maybe that can like simplify things a bit. So basically what we are going to do here is we will convert the ellipse into a unit circle. Now, how are we going to do this is the main question. So, like, if you guys are intelligent enough, maybe you must have figured out that we are going to use some substitution. So, basically, if we write the equation of the ellipse, then it is x minus 1 whole square by 25 plus of your I'm sorry, not y minus, y plus 3 whole square by 9 is less than equals to 1. So, the ellipse has a center of 1 comma minus 3, semi major axis 5 and semi minor axis 3, right? So guys, right now what we are going to do is we will introduce new coordinates. Okay, and very simply that can be done by substituting u as equal to x minus 1 by 5 and v as equal to y plus 3 by 9. So basically we can write this in terms of u and v. You can actually, like, you can imagine that there is a coordinate system x comma y which contains the original equation of the ellipse. Okay, now we are actually subjugating this thing, or rather we are taking this particular conic section in another coordinate system where the coordinate, like the two axes are not here the plane normal x and y. The axes here are modified axes. Okay, u and v modified. Like this is a 2D plane that we have created for our convenience, so it can be called as a modified coordinate system at all. Okay, like you can see, right, whatever, like if we maybe backtrack this, I guess x will come out to be 5u plus 1. So whatever the value of x was on the coordinate system here, the value of u there will, I'm sorry, not, I actually told the opposite. In case of the UV coordinate system, whatever value is there in the XY coordinate system, you will have 5u plus 1 times the before value in UV coordinate system, right? That is how it works. Like it's basically converting one coordinate system into another for our reference. So if you actually write the equation now, this is u square plus v square less than equal to 1. Okay. So basically what we did is in the x comma y plane, it was an ellipse. So we did a small substitution and changed it into a u comma v coordinate system where it is a unit circle. Okay, and actually we are going to use this method here because things will get pretty simple. You will only see. Okay, so like instead of the ellipse right now, we will deal with the unit circle while solving this sum. So going on to the equation of the 2D plane that was given. So if we actually bring that those L and M stuff to the left hand side, this would become L into x minus 1 plus of M into y plus 3 plus n is less than equal to 0. Now actually we will use the same substitution. So basically what you do is you substitute x minus 1. It's all from here, okay, from this part. What you do is you substitute x minus 1 as equal to 5u and y plus 3 as equals to your 9v. I'm sorry, I guess it was not 9v. This thing is not 9, okay. I guess this will be 3. This will also be 3. Okay. And very surprising actually, because whatever we substituted here, the same thing is coming out in the 2D plane also. Okay. And it actually like very probably it should come, because that is actually the fashion of the question made, and there is some geometry behind, right? If you are finding out the area of the ellipse intersecting with the half plane, there has to be some geometry behind, and that is the reason why maybe this thing is actually matching. Okay, it's not a coincidence, there is some reason. Anyways, so guys, if we do this particular substitution which we did again before, just a multiplicative term, so this thing will become 5lu plus 3mv plus n is less than equal to 0. Okay, this is one equation, and this is like not equation, inequality, and this is another inequality. Okay, like there is nothing to be afraid about u and v. You can just treat it like, if you want that u and v is pretty like, it's getting uncomfortable, I'm not understanding u and v, then what you can do is take small x dash and small y dash, and everywhere in place of u and v put small x dash and small y dash respectively. You will get it very well. Okay, I have just changed the coordinate system. This is not an equation, and u and v are not variables. I mean, I'm sorry, u and v are variables of the new coordinate system, but they are not constant terms. Okay, so don't get confused. Okay, so guys, if we proceed further, then actually now our question means that in our u comma v plane, the region is, and like it is now unit circle intersection with half plane. And obviously this particular half plane is bounded by the line 5lu plus 3mv plus n is equal to 0, that we found, right? Okay, so guys, I hope things are clear till here, so let's proceed now. Okay, so guys, in the next step right now, like something before proceeding, actually because we have transited, or rather there is a transformation that has taken place in the coordinate axis from the xy coordinate system to the uv coordinate system. So actually many things have changed, and one of the things that have changed is the area. So basically in the xy plane, whatever the area was, if you notice this particular thing, okay, x minus 1 is equal to 5u and y plus 3 is equal to 3v. Now basically what happens is, this is something of the sort like, what can I compare this with? Okay, anyways, nothing coming to the mind, but it's very easy to understand. Actually here 5 is multiplied and here 3 is multiplied, so whatever constant is there, it actually won't change the multiplicative influence on the area, right? So area that is in the xy plane will actually get 15 times greater. Why? Because u comma v and any general squared area would be u into v. So basically it's everywhere kind of. You can actually, to find out the scale, the simplest way to do is take a square 0 from 0 comma 0 exactly aligned on the x and y axis, and two sides obviously they will remain outside the x and y axis, but it will be in such a way that you will take u into v to find out the area of such a square. And actually this applies to all. the scaling factor, like here scaling factor is 15. Scaling factor means by how many times the area is getting increased or decreased, right? So that actually remains constant for whatever you do. So it is kind of easy way. So guys, the scaling factor has been found to be 15. So basically, f L comma M comma N, this thing is equal to 15 into area of circle segment in unit circle. Why circle segment? Because obviously the plane would cut it, right? So circle segment in the unit circle. So guys, like a lot of things done, but now the main thing has to be done, and that is finding the area, because that's the purpose. Okay, so before that actually, because we have to find the area of a circle segment, for that actually we need to find out the area of the circle segment cut off by a line at distance d dash from the center. Okay, so for that actually I hope you can understand my statement. Area of the circle segment cut off by a line at a distance d dash from the center. We are going to find d dash. Okay. So guys, the d dash will simply be, I hope I don't have to tell this. This is pretty simple, right? Okay, so guys, if we have to find out the distance of the line from the center of this unit circle, then your d dash, like it's basically the same coordinate system formula of a point from a line. So actually it's 0 comma 0 origin, right? So for that actually the numerator would become only mod n when you put x, like not x and y, I'm sorry, u and v are 0, and this would contain a's, like the coefficient, first coefficient and second coefficient of x and y whole squared and summed. So 25l square plus of 9m square. This is the expression for d dash. Okay, so actually this d dash, I hope this is not equal to radius, right? So what does that signify? That signifies that this particular thing here, this line, is actually going something like this through the circle. Okay, this is your center. It's going like a chord. Okay, the line is actually a chord to the circle. That's why the distance is not 1, right? You can understand this is never going to be 1. So guys, now like we have found out things, but first our main objective will be to find out the area of the circular segment. We need the area of the circular segment, right? Otherwise we can't solve. So for that actually, first let's draw a small circle of radius 1. This is a circle of radius 1, and a chord is there at a distance d dash from the center. This is your d dash, right? Okay, and guys, if we just extend these things, like both of these dotted lines, or maybe you can make solid also if you want, these two would be equal to 1, right? The radius. And if I consider this particular angle as theta, then this angle will also be theta, right? Like it's the property of circles, because there are like two particular lines contain the same angle. Okay, and they will like, because they are same length, so they will subtend the same angle at the center. So guys, if we do a little bit of trigonometry, this particular triangle here, I'm drawing the triangle. This is actually the hypotenuse 1, and this is d dash. So if we like find out cos theta from here, then cos theta is coming out to be d dash. So theta is basically cos inverse d dash. Okay, and if we observe this 2 theta, then actually this 2 theta part is creating a sector. Okay, wait, I will use a different colored ink. Let's use red maybe. This particular part, which I am right now coloring in red, this particular part is a sector, right? So we actually need to find out the area of that sector also. So that's pretty easy. We have a ready-made formula, right? I hope all of you remember. Area of a sector is equal to half r square into the angle theta, but here it is not theta, it is actually 2 theta, right? The angle here is 2 theta. So it comes out to be equal to theta. Why? Because r square is 1. So this is the area of the sector. And right now, area of next that what we are going to take is this thing. I'm again coloring, okay? Next, we are going to take this isosceles triangle. This is an isosceles triangle, right? Why? Because these two arms have length 1 1 each. I've already marked. So area of isosceles triangle with angle 2 theta is equal to what? Half r square sine 2 theta, right? This is a very standard formula, right? Included angles sine into r square by 2. I hope I don't have to explain. So like you should actually know this all, okay? If you don't know this, then this sum will be impossible to solve. So this becomes half sine 2 theta. Why? Because r is 1, right? So actually area of smaller segment, or rather not smaller segment, in real mathematical terms we should say minor segment, minor and major segment, right, of a circle. It's actually the area of sector minus triangle. So this is theta minus half sine 2 theta. But we don't want things in terms of theta, right? We want it in terms of d dash, the quantity we have. And that was the reason I found out cos theta in the beginning. So cos theta is equal to d dash. And we found, like we can find that sine theta is root 1 minus d dash squared. So sine 2 theta will be 2 sine theta cos theta, which is 2 d dash into root 1 minus d dash square. Okay. So guys, if we substitute, then this thing is actually becoming cos inverse d dash minus, and actually half sine 2 theta. So half into 2, so it's becoming 1 only, half into 2. And this thing will be d dash root 1 minus d squared. Okay. So basically our area has come out to be, I will write the final form in a box, cos inverse d dash minus d dash root 1 minus d square. Okay, this is the final area of our segment. So guys, so right now our f of l comma m comma n, this thing has come out to be equal to cos inverse d dash. I'm sorry, it's actually not cos inverse d dash. Wait. Actually, this will be cos inverse d dash minus d dash root 1 minus d square. But see, what? Okay, it's not d squared. This is d dash square. D dash squared. Okay. Now, guys, actually see what is happening is we had translated this from x comma y coordinate system to a different coordinate system. So basically we need to translate this back to our coordinate system. Okay, like see what is happening is because area scaling is changing, like actually you can treat it either way. Either you treat it like I am taking this back from the u comma v system to the x comma y system coordinate system, so basically I will be using the scaling factor, or you can treat it like this, that I am taking this from x comma y coordinate system to the u comma v coordinate system, and there actually it is increasing with 15, so I have to multiply by 15. Okay, you can go either way, it's actually the same explanation both sides. So guys, this particular thing here will actually be multiplied by 15, and this thing is your final f of l comma m comma n. Okay, and obviously d dash here, where d dash is equal to n, or rather you can put mod n also if you want. whole divided by root under 25L square plus 9M square. Okay, so like if you want to find like one thing that is okay, let me mention something. Here actually what will happen is, if you notice, we have cos inverse, right? So actually when n is greater than 0, for n greater than 0, the area for this particular expression, when n is greater than 0, it will give the area for the minor segment. Okay, but if n becomes less than 0, then actually this will become the area of the major segment. So that is actually like something that you have to keep in mind. Okay, so you can actually directly write this as n by root 25L square plus 9M square. Why? Because we are not taking the major segment, right? Our target is to find out the area of the minor segment, and we have already done that, so we are not taking minus n. Okay, this part is really important, guys. I hope you have understood. Please don't mess up with the sign. Okay, this one plus and minus sign can change a lot of things in the sum. It will completely flip off the meaning of the sum. Okay, so please be careful. Very small things are really beneficial to make a sum meaningful. Anyways, so guys, like we have our options with us, and already our expression has come out. So now let's jump on to the options directly. I guess there is no more solving. So let's jump on to the options and check what is given. Okay, so guys, our first option tells option number A, that is. So basically, our option number A has the following: 4 times f of 1 by 5, 1 by 3, and 1. Okay, so we will actually calculate d dash for each of the options and then check, because that's the only way possible. So d dash is equal to, for this, 1 by root, or guys, I will maybe wait, I will write down the values of d dash directly. Just do the calculation. Okay, rest of it I am doing, I have calculated d dash already, so I am writing the direct values and then I am going into the solving. Okay, just do that amount of work. So for this case, actually d dash will come out to be 1 by root 2, and obviously cos inverse 1 by root 2 is pi by 4, and root 1 minus d dash square will also be 1 by root 2. So your segment area will be pi by 4, like f of 1 by 5, 1 by 3, 1, this thing will be equal to pi by 4 minus 1 by root 2 into 1 by root 2, so half. So basically, when you multiply this with 15, actually it was 15 times, right? So 15 pi by 4 minus 15 by 2. And obviously they have also said to multiply this with 4. So I put a 4 multiplied anywhere, everywhere. So multiplying this with 4, this comes out to be 15 pi minus 30. And I guess this was given in option number A. So basically your option number A becomes very correct. Okay. So guys, moving on to our option number B now, where, wait a minute. So moving on to option number B, which tells 12 times f of 2 root 21 and 8.5. So here d dash would be equal to 8.5 by root 25 into 4 plus 9 into 21. So actually if you solve that, it would come out to be half. Okay, so guys, f of 2 comma root 21 comma 8.5, this thing would come out to be equal to cos inverse 1 half, so pi by 3, minus your d dash. Okay, d dash is half, and the bracketed would be root under 1 minus d dash square, so root 3 by 2 into half, that means root 3 by 4, and obviously this thing was multiplied by 15. So this becomes, I guess, 5 pi minus 15 root 3 by 4. And what they had asked for is this thing multiplied by 12. So let's multiply the 12 also. So multiplying this thing with 12, this would come out to be equal to 60 pi minus 45 root 3. Okay, so I guess option number B is also correct. Like, guys, this is maybe the craziest question you have ever seen, right? Nothing like this before. Like, this question that I have brought today is something that you have never seen before, I can guarantee. Okay, this is not present in any book, and I am really confirmed that something like this will appear in your JEE Advanced. Okay, maybe there can be better ways to solve also. I have not explored the direct method by taking an ellipse and solving it, or I did with this method. There can be a better method, and if you want, you can explore and also tell me if you get something better. Okay, so guys, moving on to option number C, which says 12 times f of 6 comma 4 comma root 783. So here your d dash, if you calculate it, would come out to be equal to, I guess, okay, it is actually coming out to be a big number, so I will solve this for you. This will come out to be root 783 by 1044. Okay, so when you actually, like, if you factor this a little bit, this would come out to be 27 into 29, and this thing would be 36 into 29. Okay, so it would come out to be actually root 3 by 2. Like 3 nines are 27, 3 twelves are 36, and 3 by 4. So whole root under 3 by 4, meaning root 3 by 2. Okay, so guys, your segment area f of 6 comma 4 comma root under 783, this thing would come out to be equal to pi by 6, very simply, minus root 3 by 2 into half, right? And obviously this thing is multiplied by 15, please remember. So this would come out to be 15 by 6, which is 5 pi by 2, minus of your 15 root 3 by 4. Okay, and this thing is multiplied by 12, so we again multiply with 12, and this thing would come out to be equal to 30 pi minus 45 root 3. So actually option number C is also correct. Okay, this is going towards an all correct question, but still let's measure option number D also. So guys, in our option number D, it was given 12 times f of, like, all the options, actually three options, it's 12 times only. Anyways, 12 times f of your root 2 comma root 38 and 7 plus 7 root 3. This is going to be some extensive calculation, and I will do this. So d dash would come out to be equal to 7 into 1 plus root 3 whole divided by, I guess this would come out to be equal to root under 25 into 2 plus 9 into 38. So this thing would come out to be equal to 7 times 1 plus root 3 whole divided by root under 392. So if you solve this, this would come out to be root 3 plus 1 by 2 root 2. And I hope you can some sort of recognize this thing, really famous in trigonometry, right? And you should also, because these are standard angles. Okay, if you have forgotten, do please refer again and try to remember, because these won't be told in your exams and are really being asked in JEE mains and all nowadays. So you should remember this. Okay, even JEE Advanced asked, I guess, in 2024. Anyways, so, like, easy recognition, guys, this thing here is cos 15, right? Or rather pi by 12. So your cos inverse d dash here is pi by 12. And obviously root under 1 minus of d dash square, it would be nothing but your sine pi by 12, right? So guys, actually, if we now write this f of, I will change the page, wait. Yeah, if we write this f of root 2 comma root 38, and I guess this was your, wait, this was, I guess, wait a minute, 7 plus 7 root 3, right? So this thing has come out to be right now cos inverse of cos d, that thing is your pi by 12, right? and this thing is actually cos pi by 12, and root under 1 minus cos square pi by 12 is sin pi by 12, right? So very plain simply what we are going to do is we will multiply and divide with a 2. So actually this part here becomes sine 2 theta. So pi by 12 minus half sine 2 theta, which is sine pi by 6. So this becomes pi by 12 minus of 1 by 4. Okay. So guys, we have to multiply this with 15 also, I forgot. So I guess this multiplied with 15, this thing will come out to be equal to 5 pi by 4 minus 15 by 4. So very last step is multiplying with 12. That's the final result. So multiplying this with 12, I guess the final result that is coming out to be 15 pi. 4 threes are 12. Yes, 15 pi minus 15 threes are 45. So option number D is also very, very correct. Okay, so correct options for this question, guys, are A, B, C, and D. Okay, this was a really cool question, like nothing of the sort I hope you have ever seen, because like I have never not explored yet whether we can actually solve this with the area of an ellipse directly, but I don't think that will be needed because this was much easier, right? So these small things can actually make your e-solving much better. So guys, that will be the end for today's video. I hope you have liked this question, and also if you have liked my channel, do like, share and subscribe. Any recommendations or anything, do drop out in the comment section, and also do join my Telegram discussion chat for fruitful discussions on your preparation. Okay, so that's it for today guys, and thanks for watching.